Welcome back, I am back again with another of these show and tell videos. And this one is a long overdue goddamn video, because basically all of you who are watching this channel are totally like emulation who? You don't know anything about goddamn metal. And that's fair enough, didn't subscribe for this content. That's just kind of stuff I'm doing on the side. Well, now I'm doing it kind of not really full time because I'm just making a video when I want to at this goddamn point in time. But anyway, I'm gonna do a video where I'll show for all the people who don't know anything about goddamn metal where to fucking start. I've made some album picks. I wanted to keep it at 5 because it's kind of like I could have easily like picked 15 because I mean there's just so much greatness that I think is really good to get you started. But it's kind of like a bit overwhelming for me to just throw 15 at you. So try to keep it to 5, but I didn't quite manage to keep it at 5. I had to pick a 6th one, so we'll do goddamn a 6. But all very different, and so there's kind of like a different taste of metal, and it's all like accessible. No goddamn extreme metal. But I don't want to listen to extreme metal, classic heavy metal. That's my fucking jam, and that's mainly what I want to do. I want to take you back to the good old days. Well, I don't know if they were the good old days, but yeah, I wasn't alive to see it, so maybe it wasn't so great. I have no fucking idea. But anyway, the music was fucking great, because I don't know how people are getting into metal nowadays, like listening to Twink Switch Engage or whatever the fuck. Dude, I cannot for the fucking life of me stand that type of music. Not to be an asshole, but that's not metal. I'm sorry. It doesn't sound like metal, it doesn't look like metal, it doesn't feel like fucking metal. I don't know what the hell that is. I mean, I just had to say it, man. I just had to fucking say it. Like I like Rammstein, and I'm pretty sure like fucking all of those like true old heads, they think that's absolutely deplorable. But that's what I got into at 10 years old, and I still love them. Still listen to them occasionally, not as much as I used to, because kind of listened to them way too much when I was younger. But I still like it, and I still throw it on. But I don't consider it metal. Like even growing up, I never considered Rammstein to be a metal band. I always thought they were like an experimental like rock band, like blending forms of electronic music and rock and yes, some metal elements. I'll give you like especially on the first album, there are some kind of thrashy riffs, especially on the first song, like Wollt ihr das Bett in Flammen sehen. The guys that were listening to some like classic metal, and like I know Richard CK, he likes classic shit, Iron Maiden, Motörhead, stuff like that. It's kind of like an industrial rock band. That's always always what I considered them. It was only when like 2-3 years ago I actually found out that people consider them a metal band. I was like, what the fuck? No, metal. That's not metal, dude. This is fucking metal, dude. This is metal, and this is the first one we're talking about. Judas Priest, Unleashed in the East. So I thought I might as well just get the obvious one out of the way first. If you know me, you knew there was gonna be a Priest record on here, and so I had a bit of a hard time picking one. As you know, it's like skimming through my rack. We got fucking Sin After Sin, Sad Wings of Destiny, Stained Glass, Killing Machine, fucking Defenders of the Faith. Oh my god, I was having a hard time picking. So I thought, you know what? Let me pick Unleashed in the East. So this is a live album, but in sound, absolutely incredible. This is one of the greatest live albums ever written. I fucking love this album. And it has like songs from, it's from 79, so it has songs from like all of my favorite fucking albums, which are from the 70s. We got fucking Sinner on here, and that might just be my favorite Priest song. I love the chorus. I love the kind of like climactic bridge section near the end, when we got those like ripping fucking dueling solos, and then how the song like transitions into like the last chorus is just fucking awesome. A lot of songs of Sad Wings were really great songs. Tyrant, Genocide, The Ripper, and Running Wild off of Killing Machine. It's a little bit of a shame that it has like my only complaint with this live album is that it has 2 cover songs. Like, who plays 2 cover songs? Okay, one, that's fine, but like, who plays live and plays 2 cover songs? I thought that was a bit lame, I much rather wanted to hear one of the original songs instead. Like, imagine if they scratched the cover songs and played like Call for the Priest and Raw Deal, or fucking, let me think of a good one, Beyond the Realms of Death, maybe? Or even better, what the fuck is the song called? The last song of Stained Glass, Heroes End. Oh man, that would have been perfect. But another reason why I picked this one is also because like you can just see This is what metal looks like. Why is the bike on the stage? Because it's fucking awesome, that's why. Dude, if you're gonna start listening to metal, this is the absolute perfect way to start. I can't think of a better way to get started or to get introduced to this style of music is Judas Priest Unleashed in the East. It's just absolutely fucking mandatory. Mandatory. You should know all these songs. You should be able to fucking air guitar all of them. So anyway, that's my first pick. Judas Priest Unleashed in the East from 1979. This is as metal as it gets. Angel Witch with their self-titled album Angel Witch from 1980. For me, it really showcases kind of like the full potential of this style of music. It can be heavy and sinister, but it can also be very dramatic and powerful and just like sound completely otherworldly. Just take a look at this cover too, man. So this I think the painting is called Hill's Army is Entering Pandemonium or something like that. But it really looks like Atlantis because there's a song about Atlantis on this. It has these like kind of mythological lyrics, which I really love. It's a really strong subject matter to kind of pull on, and it just works really well with the style of music they play here. And I mean, every single song on this album, just complete greatness. This is just such a good album from start to finish, and it ends on it ends on probably the strongest song on the album, if you can even call it that. Like, saves the absolute best for last, like Angel of Death. Dude, man, such a fucking sinister and just heavy as fuck track to leave the album off on, and it's just so good, man. Just riffs are fucking absolutely spectacular. The fucking production is just perfect sounding. Dude, I love this kind of production. This like an old school like roundhouse production. Love that kind of like early 80s like roundhouse production. It's just the way this fucking music is meant to sound like. It's just the way it was meant to be. And I love these like bands all saying now like, well, now we have a good production, and back then budgets were we didn't have a good budget, and all of our albums sound like shit, and you're like listening to it, to the new albums, it's just all fucking quantized and super compressed, and it sounds like fucking ass. Like, what are you talking about? This is a good production, man. This is how music is supposed to sound like. It sounds organic. You can hear everything that they're playing, pretty much. Maybe there's a little bit drowned out, but at a certain point, like, who cares, you know? I know it's kind of like annoying when things you practice and they get lost on the album. The vibe, it cuts through the mix perfectly. It sounds organic, it sounds like it's real, it comes from the fucking heart. Oh dude, a funny thing about this reissue, it's kind of like look at this. It's, you know, deluxe package. Okay, so we got the original album art, that should be on every release. Printed inner sleeve, okay, printed inner sleeve, Original record labels, okay, yeah. Okay, printed inner sleeve. Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, okay, so you basically just printed the fucking cover on the sleeve. Nice, dude. You can't call that a printed inner sleeve, dude. I need lyrics. What is this? Dude, that's so annoying. Like, it's one thing when they just don't even print an inner sleeve, and then, okay, you know. But when they actually go the extra mile, print a sleeve, and then they don't put the lyrics on. Like, why the fuck would you... Like, I buy a fucking LP to engage with the album, to listen to it. I want to read the lyrics. I want to see the band photo. I want to read all the thanks list, you know. I don't want to fucking look the lyrics up on my phone. That's why I bought this album. I want to get away from that, man. You're lucky to get fucking plastic in the inner sleeve. And guess what? There's no plastic in this one too. Or vinyl looks nice anyway, and it sounds good. This is from the original master tapes. And it's just the way to enjoy it. It still sounds fucking great on vinyl. So that's Angel Witch with Angel Witch. Next one. It is an album which I almost didn't pick because I feel like it's pretty, everyone knows about this album anyway. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention. I purposely didn't pick any Black Sabbath albums like the first two because, everyone knows about, like, you can't even go anywhere without hearing songs from those albums. So I pretty much took it as a given that you already know about them. And if you don't, then you definitely need to go and listen to it right now. I consider Black Sabbath the first ever official metal band, and that's another thing why I didn't include them, because it gets a little bit hazy. It could basically, or it could pretty much be thrown under like classic rock. Like I know if I ask my dad, for example, I think he would just like consider Black Sabbath classic rock. You know, I haven't asked him, but anyway, that's the vibe I get. But this one is kind of in the same boat, but some things just need to be fucking reiterated. Oh, forgot this is a CD, so I have to take it out of the jewel case so you can actually see the cover. It is Deal with Holy Diver, and I don't have this on LP, and I definitely, that's one of the gaps I need to fill. But it's basically because you can only get a remaster LP hot off the press, and I wanted, I prefer how the original sounds again. So this was as close as I could get to the original recording. This is like a CD. It's mastered from the original tapes, but just transferred to a CD. So obviously it doesn't sound completely original because it's a different format, but it's close enough, you know. So I'm basically just looking to buy one of the original pressings at some point, because all you can get is fucking remastered. It's been remastered like so many times, and I can see why they would do that, because everyone needs this album, but still, the original is just, it already sounds great. It doesn't need a remaster. This is the album that has the songs Holy Diver and Rainbow in the Dark, in case you were completely unaware of that. God, I've heard those songs at some point, otherwise you've been living under a rock with your head up your ass. But I gotta say, all the other songs equally as goddamn good. I actually think like Rainbow in the Dark might be kind of the weakest song on the album. But again, like hearing it on the album, it like works much better when you hear it in the flow of the album. I remember I wasn't too big on that song when I just heard it. Like it was only when I actually checked out the full album I really got the effect of the song, I guess. But yeah, this is just an album you can just get completely fucking lost in, like fucking reading the lyrics and imagining what the hell they're about, and Dio's voice just completely hypnotizes you. Dude, he's just one of the greatest heavy metal vocalists ever. I know everyone says that, but he really is, man. He really is. I mean, it's just got fucking tunes after tunes. Stand Up and Shout, Holy Diver, Don't Talk to Strangers. Dude, I love that song. It's like it hits you like really soft opening up, and it just gets really like intense and sinister. Oh, dude, that song is absolute perfection. Straight Through the Heart, Invisible. Just so good. I don't even need to say anything about it. Just go and listen to it. It's fucking great. This one might as well be my favorite heavy metal album ever. Just period. I'm not too sure, because like now that I've like talked about the last couple ones, I'm kind of like questioning myself. Oh, is it really? I don't know, dude. It's hard to pick. There's so many good ones, but this is definitely a must fucking listen. Motörhead, Overkill, and it totally is Overkill, because fucking dude, you can't handle that much greatness all at once. Just I mean, this is better than yanking your chain. Fucking who needs drugs when you got fucking music as awesome as this to listen to? Just and again it hits you right out of the gate with that roundhouse production, and it just dude, and that's why I think I like that production like especially so much. Probably because I've been listening to this album over and over again. Again, like I've picked out nothing, all killer, no goddamn filler. So I feel like I'm repeating myself when I say that every song is just fantastic, but it just is classic rock and heavy metal and punk hybrid all at the same time. But it's definitely way too heavy and way too fast to be classic rock, and it's not as, I guess, improvised as punk is. I don't really have a better description for it. Like I don't listen to a lot of punk, so I don't really know. It's what I'm getting at is that it's fucking metal. Like look at that, Lemmy is wearing a fucking bullet belt. Let's not say too much about this. Like this video is already getting long enough as it is. Just Motörhead, Overkill. I promise you're gonna love it. And that is pretty much all the kind of traditional heavy metal albums I've got on this list. I've got 2 left. Got something a little bit different. Well, all of them were pretty different brands of heavy metal, but I guess you could call this that too. But because it's very much like transitional albums. But anyway, this first one is Trouble with their debut Psalm 9, which it wasn't originally called. It was just self-titled, but it got re-released under the name Psalm 9 later on, in case you happen to give a shit. Dude, how did I get that angle so perfect last time? I don't know how I did it. Sort of like this, I think, so you can see the whole cover. So this is, you know, if you're tired of this, it's pretty fast, you know, this is time to slow down a little bit. This is kind of like one of the first ever doom metal albums. I mean, some people will probably say that not even this is the first doom, because it definitely got some galloping riffs. I think that's just a part of doom, in my humble opinion. I clearly am no connoisseur of doom. I'm very selective in what I like in this style, so who am I to say? But it's nevertheless got a lot of doomy riffs to it. This is probably like the heaviest album on the list, but it's still pretty accessible, because if you've like been following along with the albums I've shown you, it has like a lot of similar parts that like those galloping riffs, up-tempo riffs, but then all of a sudden it just drops down into those like slow crawling riffs that just absolutely crush your goddamn skull. But yeah, this is just very, very creative album. It's really it's got a lot of moving parts to the songs. They are very like well put together. Like In Time is like an instrumental, which I just love how that whole song like progresses. It's just so good. And The Fall of Lucifer as well, it falls into that category as well. And then the album opens up with The Templar, which is just a really like easy headbanger to open up the album. It's just great. We got like a Victim of the Insane, which is like the most doomy cut on the album, and this is just a regular old black vinyl, so no point really showing you. So anyway, if you wanna slow things down a little bit and get a little bit heavier, a little bit meaner, Psalm 9 is definitely where I recommend you to start. On the other hand, however, if you want something a little faster, you know, if you're a real speed freak, well, I mean, it's still a very accessible album, but it's fucking great anyway, so here you go. It is Exciter with their second album, Violence and Force, from 1984. It's pretty much a coin toss with like Violence and Force and Heavy Metal Maniac, the debut album. They're just equally as goddamn good. Just pick Violence and Force because it's probably the one I've been listening to the most recently, but Heavy Metal Maniac is just fucking great as well, so might as well go and listen to that. But yeah, ignore the low resolution cover. I was definitely very disappointed when I found out that this reissue sucked so much. But the original aren't too expensive, so I'm probably gonna buy one of those at some point, so I can have this in proper fucking quality, because this cover is just very sloppily done. But yeah, it still got like a lot of slower fucking songs like Pounding Metal and War is Hell, for example. Very slow and groovy, but it's got some real fast, some real bite to it once they kick up the speed. Especially in the opening track, like Violence and Force. I mean, just nothing but great songs on this. But yeah, if you want to truly see how shitty this reissue is, and if you want to own this album, do not buy the vinyl reissue. It sucks. It sucks. First of all, there's no lyric sheet, no plastic in the inner, which always makes my fucking balls itch when they don't put plastic in the inner. But it's kind of like a nitpick, you can just clean it, but it's just annoying. Like, you buy an album and then you immediately have to clean it because there's fucking all these like paper things stuck in the album. I mean, most of the time it's nothing that damages the record, but I've had it a few times where I got the record and I was like, dude, it doesn't sound right. What the hell's up with the production? And I give it a clean, and it's like, oh, it's because like paper was stuck in the grooves of the LP. Great. It's just like every time I get an LP that's stuck in a paper sleeve, it has to get a clean, otherwise it might not sound right. So this is supposed to be a gray vinyl with a kind of like red splatter, or kind of like, not pink, I don't know what the color's name is, but yeah, you can see some remnants of it here. It's basically all just faded. So, I mean, great job guys, great job Megaforce. It's a really high quality reissue you gave me here. So the splatter is faded, no plastic in the inner, no lyric sheet, and the cover looks like absolute dog shit. It's just a shitty CD scan, and then they just blown it up to an LP. Yeah, I mean, that's just, don't buy the reissue, that's a waste of money. Go and hunt down an original LP But anyway, I think just Exciter is just like a very overlooked band for like no reason. I think they deserve a lot more credit for definitely pushing the boundaries a lot, especially with their debut album like in 1983. Like that was fast and it was loud and it was fucking heavy for 1983. That was kind of like the thing because they were from Canada. So back then, like I've watched the Dan Beal interview and he explained it like sort of they were kind of like living out in the middle of nowhere, and Canada was notorious at the time for having like that many big labels, so they couldn't like get signed. So it took them like 1 or 2 years longer for them to actually get a record deal. So they could have actually released like Heavy Metal Maniac a year or two before, which would have been absolutely revolutionary, I think, if they did. Little history lesson for you. Exciter, Violence and Force. So that's it, that's my fucking list. If you want to get into metal music, shout out if you know that reference. You have no business having a channel on the topic of metal music. If you don't know who Pungent Stench is, you definitely have business to go and it's never too late to be converted. I hope you will listen to these albums, ingest them, have a good time, and fucking bang your head. So, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.